Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, of course, on my channel. This is Z Kingdom, and you can call me Z, of course, the host of this channel, because it's only me on this channel. But anyways, this is a channel where I talk mostly and utterly about astrology, which is the topic that this video is going to be on today. So yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, just subscribe or like this video, and also don't forget to click the bell, of course, share and comment, do whatever. So this is also a channel where I talk mostly about creativity, art, occasionally but rarely geography and maps or languages. Just really a channel where I talk about whatever I feel like, because it's my channel, I can do whatever I want, okay? But anyways, this video will be talking about or referring to a video that I recorded a couple days ago. It was kind of like an introduction video, I guess you could say, to a new series on my channel. So that video was talking about the 4 elements in astrology, which would be fire, earth, air, and water. In that video, I was talking about the nature of the 4 elements, how do you interpret elements within your birth chart and all that kind of stuff, and how to, just find out the kind of elements, which element is most dominant in your birth chart. And by knowing that whatever element is most dominant in your birth chart, the kind of person who you are, the kind of energy that you are, possessing to move through life in order to win any objective that you want. So yeah, really in that video, I was just talking about the meaning or the kind of purpose or principle that the 4 elements, sort of possess, or how do they move through life in that sense. So following from that video, we will be starting this series with the fire signs, of course, because they are the first in the zodiac. So this will be referring to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. First of all I want to say is that if you are one of the fire signs in the fire sign trio, shout out to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are one of the viewers watching this video, I hope some of the nature of the fire signs that I talk about in this video really resonates with you, resonates with your energy, and maybe it resonates with some other people out there that you guys know. So I definitely recommend that you share this video so other people can know more about my channel and my content, because I'm trying to spread knowledge and creativity on this channel. So yeah, I'm also trying to help people. Yeah, I'm helping people with this channel. That's mainly what I want to do. So yeah, just spread the word. Okay, so the 3 fire signs in astrology of the fire sign trio obviously are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Now these 3 signs, they are basically called the self-starters of the entire zodiac wheel. Basically, these signs are all about creativity, and in astrology, they're kind of viewed as the creator, so to speak, of astrology. Well, when I say astrology, I don't mean obviously the whole entire creator of astrology. I mean just really the starter of the zodiac circle, really, because it obviously all begins with Aries being the first sign in the zodiac and obviously being the first fire sign. These signs are associated with being first and foremost, yes, and well, in this light, I guess you could say that these signs will be the first to really assert their dominance, or just really assert their energy, really to stand up for themselves and say that they're the first to do this, or just fully, strongly acting on impulse and rushing into things without even thinking about it really. Really, these 3 signs are all about energy. It's really the energy that means the most to them. It's really the energy that I would say is one of their strongest gifts, really. I mean, if you think of the element of fire and the nature of fire, fire is obviously a very hot, but also it's a very unique sort of fluent, very, very destructive, yes, but also it has a certain spark to it. It has a certain liveliness. Say it's fire's in a dark room and everything just seems gloomy and bad. Fire is there to kind of warm up the place, kind of warm people up, but at the same time, if you get too close to the fire, it could burn you to death, right? But still, it kind of brings this kind of warm spark to the room. It kind of brings this warm spark to everything. It kind of highlights in a way. Fire is even like the first experience of fire. I mean, like let's face it, whenever we see like the campfire or the first experience of fire, you're like, whoa, that's kind of beautiful, right? I mean, I can speak on my behalf. Fire is actually pretty beautiful. Fire is a very, very unique and beautiful element. Much like the fire signs in astrology, they're very extraordinary. They're very, really extraordinary in my opinion. Very, very unique in their own way and have no trouble expressing themselves. And once they do express themselves, it really influences the natures of other people as well. It's just their strong charisma, their strong inner spark with lies within their heart, that when they generate it, it's like it lights up the entire party. By the way, these fire signs are very much so party animals. So yeah, they don't like to be restricted. Just know that. But overall, what I'm trying to say is that the fire signs, they have so much energy, they have so much passion, so much, they have such a certain surge and a certain pulse. But also, at the same time, fire can be a very unique and very, I would say, romantic, warm element. I mean, depending on like the setting, say a campfire brings a warm and cozy romantic feel, right? And fire can make you very warm, nice and cozy and all, and it can be pretty beautiful and extraordinary. But at the same time, fire is viewed as the most destructive element. It can burn down trees, it can burn down forests, it can burn down houses, it can burn you down. Yeah, right. It's the most destructive, and it's the most destroying oriented element, I would say. So in a way, at the same time, these fire signs can do a lot of damage, at least when they're in the mood, because fire signs can be extremely moody people. Just know that. You see, because of their element and seeing how it could get out of hand pretty easily, and the destructive nature of their element, these signs tend to act on impulse, which means it's really about their very gut feeling or their intuition, right? So whenever they feel a certain way, they kind of have to let it out, or like they just can't stop themselves. They just express it right away without even thinking twice. These signs are very straightforward, honest, and direct people. They do not waste time. Let me just tell you that. Especially when they want to express themselves, no. They express themselves without thinking twice. But because of this, I feel like this can really get them into trouble, or they can kind of miss the effect that their words or their actions have on other people, which means this is a way of saying that their words/actions can be destructive, very much so destructive to other people, right? Really, it's when it's their fuse really, being fire, that means that very steamy, very boiling, if you will, kind of angry, right? Aggressive people. So meaning they can get from here to here in a second, really, depending on how deep the situation is. So really, for these signs, when they get angry, you're gonna know that they're angry. They will not hide it. They'll show you that they're angry, and they believe that anger is a normal human emotion. Just know that. So never tell them otherwise. So basically, really, these people, when it comes to their anger and aggression, they can kind of miss the effect that it may have on others because of the kind of mood that they're feeling in the moment. I think because of this, these people tend to feel regret a lot because of it. I think that fire signs, they do tend to forget about how someone may feel, because really it's for them, it's about the here and now. Really, it's about the here and now. How do I feel right now? They're not really worrying too much about like what's gonna happen in the future. They don't really plan for the future. Let me just tell you now, the fire signs, they're not very planning people. They don't like to plan for the future. They just do what's in the moment. And they live life. They live life to the fullest, and they live in the moment. So, of course, this can have negative side effects, such as regret, such as taking things for granted, and such things like that. Ultimately, I do think with fire signs, it's all about the balance, if anything. I mean, again, like I said, it can keep you nice and warm, but at the same time, it could be very harmful. It can, kill. So what I'm trying to say is that it's really, for fire signs, I suggest that you guys find a balance between, maybe I should watch out because of my actions, or the effect it might have on my loved ones and such things like that. I feel like you guys should worry a lot more about those things. Just really look at the future, look at what the future holds. Don't get lost within the here and now, and just totally forget about what may happen in the future. So yeah, fire signs just tend to be more open-minded and much more mature to these things. And not to mention, saying that it's really about the balance for you guys. I mean, just look at Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, plus is the first fire sign. And the opposite sign of Aries is Libra, and Libra is all about balance. On the plus side though, fire signs, I totally think that you guys are straightforward and honest people. Anyone out there who's in a relationship with a fire sign, or you guys are maybe friends or anything like that, just know that they'll be 100% truthful with you, because like I said, they don't waste time. They do not wait around the bush whenever there's a problem. They just tell you straight up. They tell you straight up without thinking twice. And I feel like this is what makes these people such trustworthy people, of course, because they know that you'll have their back. And of course, you'll know that they will have your back. So you guys can just work together and just beam through life, you know, thrive through life, which is another thing. The fire signs, if anything, if they won't have any intention on the future, on what they're going to do in the future, really, it's by thriving in life. The fire signs, with their energy and their confidence, they don't want to just survive or just live in life. They want to thrive in life. They want to experience life to the fullest. I mean, life for them, life is never too short for them. They believe that the sky is the limit. There's so much things you can accomplish in life. I believe that this is what makes these kind of people larger than life people, extremely larger than life. The fact that they're able to uplift people with them whenever they're in such energetic spirits, great spirits at heart, and just, you know, the influential charisma that can just make people so drawn to them. It's just naturally flow to them. Fire signs, I totally think you guys are visionaries. I think you guys are totally the life of the party. You guys are party animals, and I think that you guys are pretty confident, obviously. Extremely ambitious people, extremely heart rule head people. I would definitely say that. And you guys are straightforward, very straightforward people. It's like, again, direct, which can have side effects in my opinion, because you guys tend to be impatient. Yes, impatient when maybe something is preventing you guys from maybe trying to get the main objective that you want to get, because you guys are so ambitious. And with this ambition, you guys have fiery ambition, such as a go-getting mind and spirit, especially when it comes to Aries, I would say. So I would say that you guys are very ambitious, fiery ambitious, and aggressive when it comes to your ambition as well, and serious about your ambition, which can make you guys very impatient. So like I said, again, balance. So try to balance out that patience and maybe wait a little bit longer, especially when it comes to Aries again. Being associated with the creation, if you will, or the start of everything, fire signs, I totally think you guys are original people, very much so original, innovative people. You guys are extremely creative, of course. You guys are full of creativity, especially especially Sagittarius. I mean, all fire signs have the same amount of creativity, but Sagittarius has a lot of creativity in my opinion. I would definitely say that you guys are extremely warm-hearted people. You guys are definitely, I would say, the signs with the biggest hearts ever in astrology. You guys are definitely extremely passionate, energetic, like I said, great spirit. You guys are really good at motivating people. I mean, just look at all these great motivational speakers that are fire signs. Like, honestly, you guys are really good at pushing people to the best, especially when it comes to Aries. I keep bringing up Aries a lot because Aries, I feel that shares the most extroverted form of the fire sign energy, really. Speaking of extroverted, fire signs, you guys are the most extroverted out of the entire zodiac, and you guys are major lovers of social events. Ultimately, I do think that the fire signs are highly driven people. It's all about the drive for you guys. You guys are the signs with the most drive. You guys are the most active out of the entire zodiac. Really, I think you guys are really elevated, I would say. You guys really have an elevated sense of, your nature and such like that. Elevated sense of, your fiery nature. You take a lot of pride in yourself, of course. You guys perform perfectly. You guys are adventurers. You guys are explorers. You guys are not afraid to seek any part of the world for you guys. I believe that the world is basically essentially a playground for you guys, where you guys should just go anywhere. Could go anywhere whenever you guys feel like it and experience it. And whoever is there by your side can experience it along with you guys, and you can make it a literal dream for whoever is next to you guys. Really, again, you guys are able to just make a change in other people's lives. Based on my experiences with a lot of fire signs, they've just been there, the most fiery, the most eager, I would say, the most confident, joking, joyful people that I've ever been in my life. Really, I would say I could just really relate to them so easily, honestly. And they're highly relatable people based on my experiences as well. So really, overall, the fire signs, you guys are highly action-oriented people. You guys, again, perform perfectly. You guys also tend to really be able to gel with a lot of people. I would say you guys are very intuitive as well. You guys always tend to notice when people have a bad vibe, based on my experiences with a lot of fire signs. And honestly, I feel like you guys are very friendly people. You guys tend to be very typically popular, I would say, really out in the open. Again, another trait that I love about you guys is that you guys don't dwell. Really, for you guys, you like to keep your fire going. I would say that's one of the things I love about you guys. You don't let any past experiences or any experiences at all, or like just very bad experiences or sad experiences in your life, just blow out your fire. You don't, or like just water out your fire completely. No, you do not let that happen. No matter how bad you feel, you always keep your fire going, and you guys do not dwell. And you guys don't want people in your life who dwell. So you guys honestly are just really, you guys are like people's ride or dies, really. I just really enjoy your guys' energy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the 3 fire signs and how do they basically differ between all 3 of them, or just the prime differences between the 3 fire signs. Aries. So Aries is the ram, as we all know. So obviously a ram is a male goat. And what do male goats like to do? Well, really, for male goats, it's much more of a play, I would say. Really, they like to fight with each other with their horns, of course, just be battling with each other, competing with each other, just to see who's more dominant, just to be, in the herd, just that kind of stuff, just to prove, like, who's more dominant, just to, say, oh, I'm the leader. That's what male goats like to do. That's what the rams like to do. So really, for Aries, I would say that it's just really about the competition. Aries likes to win. They like to have that feeling of, winning. Really, overall, Aries wants to conquer. Yeah, Aries is known as the conqueror. So, really, for Aries, their main objective is to win in life. Really, this is why they love a good challenge so much. This is why they love a good challenge, especially the much more underdeveloped Arians, the more children-like Arians. They love a good challenge. They love the fiery nature of competing with other people. They're really, really good at it, and they just get such a buzz, such a thrill from competing. So really, they like to have that feeling of, oh, I accomplished this, or I achieved this. And these rams are achievers. Arians are extremely, extremely ambitious. Like I said, probably the most ambitious. Really, I think with Aries, life is really this whole entire playground that they could just try out anything that they want. This is why these signs are also known as the risk takers. These rams are known as the risk takers. They are so eager. They will not think twice before they take a risk. even if it involves their life even. This is why when you ask things to them, oh, Aries, will you try out skydiving? Yeah, I tried that. Or, Aries, would you ever try a rock climbing the tallest mountain in the world? Yeah, I try that. I mean, obviously not. They won't like do crazy out of the top, dangerous things that would get people's lives, actually endanger the lives of others. But like, Aries, well, really it's just for the competition. It's really for like, what is there to achieve really, how to get to the top. The sky's the limit for these people. Really, they just love a good competition. Really, everything is about a game for them, really, which is why I believe that this nature is mostly viewed in the more childlike Aries. So even take the fact that Aries is known as the child in astrology, being number one. I don't even know how that makes them a child. That actually makes them like the oldest since they're number one, but still they're number one, so like that would make them the youngest. And also they're the youngest of the fire signs as well, so they do have this like childish nature, right, of I think just thinking about yourself most of the time. I think that Aries, they do tend to be the most, don't take this wrongly, I think they do tend to be the most selfish of the entire fire sign trio. And I think this all comes from the fact that they rule the first house, and the first house is all about self. So really, it's Aries who wants to really live in the moment. They're not thinking about the future. Aries, they just want to live life in the here and now, what's going on, and I'm mostly focusing on myself, really. For Aries, because of this, I feel like they, being the most childish, they tend to be a lot more playful, a lot more warm-hearted. I feel like they have the least limitations, of course, the least limitations. And I would say this kind of have negative side effects, the fact that Aries is the most oblivious towards others people's emotions, or other people, the effect that their own feelings can have on other people, because Aries is the most aggressive, the most impulsive, and the most, I would say, aggression or anger drive oriented than all the rest of the fire sign trio. So I believe that Aries, they just tend to act on impulse, like literally the quickest to act on impulse, like extremely active people. And the thing is that Aries has this ruling planet Mars, which is all about drive, it's all about action, it's all about aggression. And heck, the planet is ruled by the Greek god Aries, and Aries is known as the spirit of battle. So everything was about a competition from the very start. Overall, I believe that Aries is just a lot more motivated, a lot more pushy towards other people's and themselves, but in a much more positive way. But I believe when it comes to being in a much more positive way, I think that can be very difficult depending on the kind of person that the feeling of the Aries or the nature of the Aries may have an effect on. Because me personally, I'm a person who doesn't really like too pushy people, or too, difficult to deal with, or too, coming across as just direct in a negative way for no reason. And I can even use, for instance, I do tend to struggle with this with my big brother. My big brother is an Aries, and well, he tends to be a little bit too direct, a little bit too pushy in a way, a little bit too aggressive in a way at times. The rest of the times we pretty much get along. We're very close. We were extremely close as children. We still are. But like, I think my biggest problem with him is that, well, it's really his impulse. His passion and his impulse is like really strong, and his fuse is very short. And so I think with Aries, ultimately, they can feel the most regret, and they could just say certain things or do certain things that they don't know they don't know what the effect is on other people, and just be like, oh, I didn't mean that, or I didn't mean to do that. Or they'll be just thinking to themselves like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. But again, this comes from their childlike nature. So usually when Aries do things, they don't actually really mean it. Whenever they do a negative thing, they don't actually mean any harm or aggression when they express their anger or anything like that. Anything like that for the matter. I just believe that it's just really, it comes out directly, it comes out without thinking twice, it comes from a much more just extroverted mindset, and sometimes they don't really and truly do not mean this, really. So other signs are there, don't take it the wrong way, just don't take the wrong way. I would definitely say it's coming from a more optimistic and positive mindset. I would say a much more realistic view on things, because Aries, I believe, are like, okay, this is straightforward, this is direct, this is what life is, this is what it is, just deal with it, like, because I can take it, I can deal with it kind of people. They like to be very tough, they like to show themselves approve, if you will. Again, yeah, they like to be winners, like I said. Overall, it's just coming from a much more innocent mindset. I mean, even take the fact that, yes, Aries can be very much so mostly the stern and this very, very strong, muscular, masculine, and competitive ram, but at the same time, they could be like this kind of like soft, innocent, and fluffy lamb. So, yeah, never miss that side to them. It just really, if you show the Aries that you're honest, direct with them, that you have their back, that you're loyal, that you'll always be there for them, when you have all those things checked off on your list, really you can see the most generous parts of an Aries, the most softer parts of an Aries, the much more cool undertone and less aggressive part of the Aries, or less impatient. Not to mention, Aries is cardinal fire, so really it's about initiating their action, initiating their energy. It's all about having the most go-getting mindset. They're the most go-getting of the zodiac and the fire sign trio. So for Aries, it's just competing on this extremely elevated and high level with other people, with all their interactions, really. So really for an Aries, it's all about the pushy nature. They always gotta push themselves to the best. They're constantly on the go. They're sparked up and up to just, making themselves the best version of themselves, which I do love. It's such a motivating and such influential mindset to have. Very spirited, in my opinion. Leo. So Leo is the lion. And for lions, obviously they are the leaders. They're the kings, mostly referring to male lions here. They are basically the pride. They know that they're the pride. Everyone else knows that they're the pride. They're very prideful in themselves. Really, they just walk around the savannah, watching everyone just bowing, praising, honoring them as the king and queens that they are. Really, they love the fame. They live for the applause, right? And so, really, for the male lions, or lions in general, it's all about protecting their pride. It's all not only the pride of themselves, their physical image, their inner image, also the image of others as well, the physical and inner image of others as well. Really, it's a sense of togetherness, I believe, because not only does the male lion have the responsibility to fight off any possible threats that may occur or that may damage their pack, When this happens and the male lion tends to show some signs of weakness or some signs of, I can't help myself, or, such things as that, the lionesses, which are the other lions in the pack, the females, they come and help the male lion to fight off any possible threats that may be disrupting or harming their pack. So with Leo, I believe that there's a sense of love, there's a sense of togetherness, there's a sense of loyalty. So by this logic, for Leo, they're known as the performers of the zodiac and of the fire sign trio. So for Leo, they perform excellently whenever it comes to social gatherings or just social situations overall. It's Leo who lives for the applause. It's Leo who lives for the fame, the praise, the honor. And this is why they take so much pride in themselves and tend to be extremely prideful people. And not to mention, egotistical. Don't even get me started on that. Really, Leos, they're highly confident. I wouldn't say they're the most confident of the zodiac trio or the fire sign trio. I would say that Leos, at least they're the most confident in a social setting. So when it comes to parties, especially parties or concerts, Leos, they thrive in that kind of environment. They'll just be dancing so passionately, just not caring at all. I mean, not too much. Don't get me wrong now. They care about people watching them. They care about all that. But they honestly, they don't care about the insecurities, or they don't care about their insecurities when in that kind of setting. They don't care about the bad things that people see in them whilst they're doing it. They just do it. They don't care. They just express themselves in the most hot way possible. It makes people just naturally gravitate and flow towards them. They are ruled by the sun, which is the very heart of our solar system. The sun is the center of our solar system. Everything gravitates, basically revolves around the sun. gravitates towards the sun. And the sun, the thing about the sun, it is this ball of fire already, right? This huge ball of fire that can be very overwhelming, but kind of shines in its aura as the other planets just can't help but just look at the sun and gravitate towards it, you know? So, and this is basically Leo. Not to mention the sun is associated with the ego. And so with Leo, they are almost like they're the heart of the party. They're the center of the dance floor. And everyone just kind of just feels so influenced by the Leo and their dance moves, and they just want to join the Leo in whatever. And also, of course, even though Leo does live for the applause and they live for the fame and they enjoy the spotlight, this can have negative side effects at times. Again, like I said, the sun, huge ball of overwhelming fire. What this suggests is that sometimes Leos can be a little bit too caught up within the fame circle, or like just they get too used to the applause, and they just tend to have no limitations when it comes to it. They tend to take the spotlight from other people, I believe, at times, or like they just totally forget about other people being seen, I believe, or whenever people are seen, Leos, they tend to be a little jealous. I think this is because Leos, they want the spotlight all to themselves. Most of the time, they want the fame to themselves. They want people to be drawn to that, only them, because the fact that they get such a thrill from it, really. And let's be honest, that's when we are very confident people in social natures, we love that feeling of people just lavishing us with tons of affection. Like, even I believe that a lot of celebrities, singers, most of all, can relate to these things. Just people lavishing them with the applause, lavishing them with so much care, just because of their music, just because of their talents and everything like that. So I think with Leos is that they, yes, when that is taken away from us, we do tend to feel a little bit jealous. Now, I do think with Leo, they are a little bit more prone to being too used to the spotlight and just taking the spotlight for themselves, because they get so much of a thrill and pleasure from it. The reason why this is because Leo does rule the 5th house, and the 5th house is all about pleasures, creativity, and such things as that. So Leo tends to get lost in that thrill and just surge of creativity and enjoyment that they possess and they generate, and what they get from other people. So Leo, they tend to, not to mention the fact that they're fixed fire. So I know that fixed fire is really all about, I guess, contained fire within, yet much more, I guess you could say, because is all about being consistent and persistent, right? The fixed signs are persistent and consistent. So I think for Leo, since they're fixed fire, they're all about being consistent and persistent when it comes to their action and their energy, and their drive. So really, it's Leo who wants to continue that drive and energy, and of course, along with the drama, exaggeration, and domineering attitude that comes with, their confidence as well, being the lion. But even though Leos tend to be like this, when they tend to be very dramatic, very, I would say, spotlight seeking, attention seeking, they do tend to live for the applause a little bit too much, and when they get to the point that they're fully entrenched within the world of fame. I think that Leos, they do have that very romantic and loving side to them, right? You see? And I do believe that Leos should just take a rest sometimes from all the fame and applause, to, just take a rest from all that kind of the social stuff, and just start worrying about more meaningful stuff in their life, such as the love, their strongest gifts, which is their romanticism and the love that they show to their loved ones, the protection, the loyalty. And if you really think about it, the male lions, they do need their rest, right? Last but not least, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the archer or centaur. Well, their symbol is the archer, but it's representing a centaur with a bow and arrow, which represents the archer, which meaning a centaur is obviously the half man or half human and the half animal. Usually, occasionally, it's mostly a horse. Really suggesting that this creature is not just any creature that you can find in nature, much like Leo and Aries, how they're the ram and the lion. this is much more of a creature that you can find in storybooks or in Greek religion or Greek mythology, Roman mythology, or just off of the internet or by imagination and such like that. Really suggesting that for Sagittarius, I believe that it's much more on a spiritual and intuitive level with their spirits. They flow like a spirited nature, much more than being, here in the now and, being, much more realistic or just down to earth. Don't get me wrong, Sagittarians are very much so down to earth people. It's just that I feel like for them, it's all about the adventure within their imaginations, the creativity in their imaginations, and this sense of being an explorer. And that's what Sagittarius is known as in the fire sign trio, the explorer. Now, this is the reason for why I said maybe Sagittarius is the most creative out of the entire fire sign trio, because the fact that their creativity, especially when it comes to spiritual love, is one of their strongest strengths. And well, the reason why I said they're much more adventurous in this nature of they like to explore, and they're much more in tune with their imaginations and such like that. They just want to escape reality, I believe. I mean, not as much as Pisces, of course, because Pisces entirely wants to escape reality. But I think Sagittarius, they do enjoy the free life. They enjoy their freedom. They enjoy the space of just really making life however they want it to be. They enjoy creating how the life that they want, really. They love trying out new things. They love indulging in new things, I believe. And I think with Sagittarius, it's all about this sense of play. It's a sense of play. They're very lighthearted people. I would say much more lighthearted than Aries and Leo as well. I would say this just because it's for the shared experience, really. It's for the shared experience for these people. That's mostly what they want, the experience, and also to take in the knowledge, really, because it would help them fully, mature as they go through life, or in a sense, referring to the archer, I guess, roam through life. I would say their freedom-loving nature does have some negative side effects, though, at least when it comes to that arrow. What I mean by this is that, being symbolized by the archer, the Sagittarius, they're a lot more straightforward in their judgment. They're a lot more direct, I would say. Like, they shoot off like a firework, right? I mean, Aries is the same way, but I feel like Sagittarius, they're much more blunt in a sense. When it comes to their words and their actions, it can be pretty nasty, I must say. It can be extremely painful. Just like the arrows, when they go inside your feelings, when they go into your heart, it can, it's almost like damaging you, right? And this all comes from they don't really care about the reputation, really. I believe that Sagittarians, they don't care that much about the reputation. They don't like to restrict themselves. Like I said, it's all about the play for them. It's really all about freedom for them, really. Just to roam around and do whatever they want. So for Sagittarius, whenever they show a certain action or do something, it's not that they really mean it. It's just that they act on impulse just as much as Aries. It's their mood it's their mood at the moment, really. Once it's really spontaneous, I would say. It's a lot more spontaneous than Aries, because Aries, you can see them fuming, it's coming, and when it comes, it's like a huge firestorm, if you will. But for Sagittarius, it's much more spontaneous. I would say they're more slower to anger than Leo and Aries because of their lighthearted hearts. But when they do get angry, suggesting that they are extremely angry once they get angry. You see, because once they get angry, full on impulse, the words come out and it's like they're like daggers in the heart, right? So this is like the negative side effects towards their freedom loving nature. I believe that Sagittarians, they do tend to really be very forgetful, or they tend to take things for granted. They do tend to be a little bit more irresponsible when it comes to their needs, when it comes to other people's needs, and really when it comes to, I would say, apologizing. Really, I would say that is kind of spontaneous as well, when they just come up to you and just apologize for something that they did. Really, I think they tend to be very forgetful, take things for granted when it comes to that sort of things. So my suggestion to Sagittarius is that really take the time to really appreciate someone for something that they do, and really appreciate the fact that that, because I know that you guys can be very superficial people at times, very much so superficial people. So I think that you should just really take the time to really just appreciate for someone for really who they are a lot of the times. And whenever you do perhaps did something wrong to someone or show harm to someone in any kind of way, apologize for it. Don't just take it for granted and think it'll just go away. No, Sagittarius, you guys have to speak to the person and apologize for what you did wrong. Don't get me wrong though, their straightforward nature can have some positive side effects, such as them being very honest, fair-minded, I would say optimistic in a lot of scenarios that can really uplift other people to have a much more positive outlook on life. And this is also due to the fact that their ruling planet Jupiter is all about optimism. It's all about good luck, great fortune, and such things as that. And I think that's one of the reasons why they do tend to take things for granted a lot of the times as well. But still, I feel like it's kind of like the manifestation that comes with their optimism. It's almost like they intuitively know that once they show the optimism, once they show the positivity and everything, it's almost like everything it's just gonna get granted. It's just gonna automatically get granted to them, really. And they know they're very deeply grounded in the world of manifestation. Really, I think that the reason why they might seem a little bit more imaginative, much more exploration oriented, is because of the fact that being ruled by Jupiter, they think on a much more abstract basis. I feel like with Sagittarius, they are much more just really widespread, I believe. Widespread, and tend to think on just this larger than life level of, ooh, I never really thought of that, or this is like really, really cool. This is a cool fact to think of. Just because this also comes from the fact of their intellect, their logical nature, their open-mindedness towards anything they find on the internet or anything like that, anything that they really heard, or just by analyzing nature or the world themselves, really. It's just that they're able to take the knowledge in, and really they can be in line with their spiritual heart with this as well, which can give them tons of wisdom, which is why they are the last of the fire signs, because really for Sagittarius, they are the most mature. They're kind of like the spiritual stage, if you will. That stage when you realize what life really is, you realize yourself, you're already past the first stage, which is the self stage, you're already past the interpersonal stage, which is the social stage, and then you've reached an alignment, basically. And I feel like Sagittarius is the perfect balance of that. And also, with their opposite sign being Gemini, really with their adventurous natures comes curiosity. So along with this open-mindedness and versatility-oriented nature, they're very curious spirits by nature. And so they're not afraid to seek the unknown, or they're not afraid to reach for what's beyond the familiar. These signs are all about just roaming away from their natural boundaries and reaching like tons of different walks of life, tons of different territory that haven't been discovered yet, really. Which means these signs are also really, really associated with travel. Yes, they're very transportative signs. Not to mention, Sagittarius is mutable fire. So they're the most, basically the most fluent and the most flexible out of all the fire forms. So with this being said, Sagittarius is sort of like a forest fire. So a forest fire, when it gets out of hand, it can reach different territories. They can like spread very, very quickly, right? This is Sagittarius. Their adventurous, energetic natures can just travel around the world, as it can just uplift other people with them and just make other people ride with them, really. Their inspirational and original natures and relatable natures, I believe. And yeah, Sagittarius is pretty relatable in my opinion. Yeah, I would say they just are brutally honest people. So with their honesty can be viewed as relatable. And so, but really, I just think Sagittarius, these firecrackers, they roam through the lands with their bow and arrows, Just like the horse, they're free-spirited. I would say being mutable fire, Sagittarians, they tend to think a little bit more about things. They tend to plan for the future a lot more than Leo and Aries, because they tend to worry about the future. They tend to worry about a lot more. They tend to worry about the possibilities a lot more. Yes, but it's surely Sagittarius who knows that the journey is just as special as the destination. Okay guys, so that concludes or ends my video on the differences and the nature of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So again, I thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for being here, really. Thank you guys for liking this video. Like it, subscribe, don't forget to click the bell, comment what was your favorite part. Don't forget to share, of course, with whoever you know. Next will naturally be the earth signs, who are the second in astrology. And so, yeah guys, I'll see you guys in another video.